You say you love them, but do you? Or have they just become familiar? Like that old sweater you never throw away even though it doesn't really keep you warm anymore. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Not all relationships end in dramatic breakups. Some just dissolve, quietly, slowly, until one day you wake up next to someone and realize you feel nothing. Love doesn't always die with a bang. Sometimes it fades into routine, and we mistake that routine for connection. We start calling it comfort. We start calling it loyalty. But deep down, something feels missing. In this video, I want to talk about that moment when love turns into habit. The moment when you're no longer in love, you're just used to each other. And I'm going to be brutally honest, because sugarcoating this won't help anyone. If you feel a knot in your stomach while listening, don't ignore it. That knot is trying to tell you something. Let's start with this. You live together. Maybe you share a bed, a life, maybe even kids or a mortgage. But somehow you feel lonely. The conversations have dried up. You no longer talk about dreams or fears or the future. You talk about groceries, chores, deadlines. You function as a team, but the emotional intimacy? It's vanished. You used to get excited when you saw their name on your phone. Now, it's just another message to reply to. You kiss out of habit. You hug out of duty. You're not in love, you're in maintenance mode. And yet, you stay. Why? Because it's safe. It's familiar. Because leaving would be hard, and starting over? Terrifying. So instead, you convince yourself, this is just what love looks like after a while. This is normal. But here's a question you need to ask yourself. Are you staying because you're happy, or because you're afraid? One of the clearest signs that love has turned into habit is when you stop arguing. Not because everything is fine, but because you've both stopped trying. You don't care enough to fight. You don't care enough to fix. So you both just go through the motions, quietly withdrawing, emotionally checked out. And then there's the daydreaming. You catch yourself imagining a life without them, not because you hate them, but because you miss yourself. The version of you that felt alive, curious, passionate. Now you just feel flat. Another sign? You stop being intimate, not just physically, but emotionally. You avoid meaningful eye contact. You don't ask each other deep questions anymore. The relationship becomes a series of repeated actions. Eat, sleep, work, repeat. Sex, if it happens, feels mechanical, routine. And the worst part? You're not even curious about them anymore. You say you love them, but when you dig deeper, what you really love is the memory of who they were, of who you both used to be. You hold on to the good times from the past like souvenirs, proof that this used to be something beautiful. But now you're clinging to nostalgia, not love. And when you picture the future, do you see them in it? Or do you just not think about the future at all? Because love builds towards something. It evolves, yes, but it still grows. Habit just maintains what already exists. No depth, no forward movement. Just staying in place because it's easier than change. And here's where it gets really tricky. Sometimes, we confuse loyalty with love. We stay because we don't want to hurt them, because they've never done anything wrong, because we feel guilty even thinking about leaving. But guilt is not love. Fear is not love. Comfort is not love. And staying in something that's emotionally dead will only bury you too. So what now? If you're realizing that your relationship has become a habit, you have two choices. You can fight for it. You can have the uncomfortable conversations, reignite the intimacy, and rebuild something deeper, with both of you fully invested. Or you can walk away, lovingly, gently, with respect, and give yourself the chance to find a connection that's actually alive. Neither path is easy, but staying stuck in something just because it's familiar, that's the fastest way to lose yourself. Love should feel calm, but not numb. It should feel safe, but not suffocating. It should feel consistent, but not robotic. If you've been confusing habit with love, this is your wake-up call. You deserve more than routine. You deserve connection, intimacy, joy, depth. And no, you're not selfish for wanting those things. You're human. So take a deep breath and ask yourself, honestly, am I in love, or am I just used to them? If this resonated with you, you're not alone. So many people stay in relationships not because they're deeply in love, but because it's what they've always known. But maybe your next chapter is where your real love story begins. Don't be afraid to turn the page. And if you want more honest conversations like this, don't forget to subscribe to Decode Love. Because here we don't chase fairy tales, we decode the truth.